Hi Reza, it's Harlan Ferguson, student number 101133838. This is my data science assignment 4, and I'm in your Tuesday 11 a.m. lab. So to start off for this assignment, we only require two libraries, Pandas and Matplotlib. So for the first step here, we're just reading the test2 that was provided, CSV. Sorry, it was test, but I renamed it to test2, pardon me. And we're just storing that as a data frame. I'm actually going to run, I'm going to run the code at step 13. No, I got to run it now. Okay, just a second here. So we're going to run the program, and then we're just going to scroll back up and ignore that graph for now. So for 2, we're just printing the first 3 values with the head function, as you can see here. And then for 3, we are dropping the model column. So you can see in 2 we have model here just before cost, and then it's dropped in this one instance, but it's just temporarily. Then in step 4, we're dropping it for good right here, and we're doing that because we're actually just reassigning the data frame. So we make it permanent with that. In the last assignment, we were using the in place equals true. So this is a different way of doing it. It's just reassigning the variable to this instance of dropping it here. For 5, we're deleting specific rows 1, 3, and 5, and then showing the first 4. So for 5 here, we can see our indexes are now a little skewed. We have 0, 2, 4, and 6. For 6, we're calculating the mean of range column. So we're just grabbing that range, we're grabbing that range, and then we're just using the mean function on it. So you can see we get 297. For 7, we're counting and replacing F with AAA in the type column. So first we group by the type, and then we use the dot value counts function to count all the values, and then we're getting specifically F, 0 there. So then in 7, we can see that when we print the count, we get 50. And then right after printing the count, we're also then again taking that type, and then every time we have an F, we actually replace it with a AAA. So if I print that again within step 7, you can see here that we now have a AAA where the F used to be. For 8, we're cleaning the cost column. So right now cost has square brackets and some dollar signs in there. So we're going to use some regex here, and then the Python string replace. So we give the regex, we let it know it's a regex, and then as we're also doing this replacement, anything that follows the square or the dollar sign we're replacing with a blank character. And then as we're doing this, I'm also converting each one to an integer because it's more efficient. And then we print the 4, so you can see in 8 here we no longer have those symbols. For 9, we're now working with int 32 on the cost column. For 10, average cost grouped by continent. So again, we're first getting our average here of cost, and then grouping by continent, and then getting the mean of that. So in our printout, we have that here. For 11, we're doing, again, group by continent, and then once it's grouped by continent, we're then looking at the cost column and using an aggregate function to then apply min, max, and standard deviation on all the values. So we have that printed out here. Same thing for 12, but we're just looking at numerical columns. I decided to not include ID because it wasn't giving valuable information back, so I just did range, value, and cost, and I kind of moved forward with that for the graphs as well. So we've got, for 12, we got that printout here, and then for 13, that's where we're at with the graph. So I'll pull that up here. Hopefully you can see sometimes OBS doesn't do overlays. Let's see here. Yes, okay, perfect. So I dropped the ID right here because it was kind of skewing the results. The ID was like way up, and everything else looked tiny in comparison. So we have that graph here. And then also I was having trouble displaying cost originally, but it turned out since above we know that cost ended up being int 32, I just had to include int 32 when I was setting up this plot. So I'm just going to close out of this so we can continue on the program. I'm going to hide that for now. So on 14 here, we're just doing a value counts on continent, so that's pretty straightforward there. And then 15, we're doing the exact same thing, but this time we're making it a percentage. So we've got percentages here. I didn't do any rounding, I just kept it basic. For 16, we're showing unique values in continent, so we can see we're dealing with Asia, North America, Africa, Europe, Antarctica, South America, and Australia. And then the number of uniques. So we have 7 unique there. For 17, doing value counts again, but of the cost column. And then for 18, we're then plotting a histogram of the cost column. So I'll pull this back up. But the data is kind of muddled. So in 19, we give it a bins of 50, which allow us to better represent kind of the highs and lows and what's going on here. And then for 20, let's just scroll down to 20 here, scroll back up. So 20 is just showing of the data frame which columns have values that aren't filled in. So we can see overall the data frame is quite filled. Type is missing 2 values and zip code is missing 9. So then if we go down to 21, so then we're dropping what's missing with this drop NA, and then printing out the new size. So we have 936 for 22. We're taking the type column, we're doing a value count, and we're not dropping anything. So we have 22 here. And then for 23, if we don't have anything, we're using this fill NA. So if we don't have anything, we're replacing it with XXX. And since we're using the in place, that also means we're permanently doing this. So then we just print this out in 23. 24, again, we're dropping rows with missing values in the count. So we're dropping with missing values and then showing the count there. And then for 25, let's see here, we're setting index. So we're setting the index and then we're removing. And then we're removing. And then for 26, we're doing the column info before and after we apply a reset. So we've got index 10, 30, 50, 70, yada, yada, yada. We do the reset, and then after the reset, the index is now index range, value type, zip code, cost. So that's just all that there. On 27, we're just describing the data frame, and then particularly between 0 and 2 there. For 28, we're just doing another value count, but this time we're also just doing a sort on top of it. For 29, we're showing specific rows, and then we're showing everything that's type continent, and then we're showing a head of 7, so the top 7 rows. And then for 30, we're showing the value of type equal to XXX, so we replaced some stuff earlier on. But in 30, we can see that we've got row number 687 and 743 They are both type XXX, and their values are 42 and 37. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.